Nazi bank operates in full view of the public without you even knowing. I know that's a mouthful, and I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. And here's how UBS, a Nazi bank, is able to operate in full view of the public without being harassed in any way, shape, or form. And the reason for that is, in order for this acquisition to go through, UBS had to pay an undisclosed amount in billions before this acquisition could go through. UBS had to pay in billions restitution to the Jewish people for World War II. So, what does that exactly fucking mean? So, if you've ever seen the movie Schindler's List, they have the rooms full, separate rooms. Each room would be full of one object. So, in Schindler's List, there was a room filled with just wallets of Jewish people. There was another room filled with just the fucking teeth of Jewish people because they had valuable metals in their fillings. There's another room with their clothes, and, they stripped them of all their valuables and all their clothes before they stuffed them on a train, sent them to Auschwitz, and fucking burned them. And all that stuff, all that art, all those wallets, all those gold teeth had to go somewhere. And it cost billions in restitution for the Jewish people to never bring up that topic ever again. Where did all the wallets, the gold teeth, and the artwork that the Nazis stole during World War II, where did it go? Because I know where it went. I know exactly where it went. And I know approximately how much it cost for the Jewish people to never bring it up again. So I'm split down the middle on this, right? From the perspective of the Jewish people, right? Because half of me wants to say, take the fucking restitution money, forget what fucking happened, and just go on with your fucking life, right? That's half of me. The other half of me says you're a fucking sellout for taking the fucking money and not speaking up about it. So half of me wants to say, I'm for, the Jewish people taking the restitution money from UBS in order for the merger to take place, and forgive, forget, and move on with your life. And that's exactly what they've done. They've never mentioned ever again all the atrocities that UBS committed during World War II. Never. Not even one since, the merger happened. Not inside the building, not outside the building. Never anywhere did anybody say anything. But it's well known, it's documented that an undisclosed amount in billions was paid in restitution. It's a fact. And then there's the other half of me that believes the Jewish people that took this money and that work for UBS are complete fucking sellouts. You're sellouts for working for your slave masters. And I know Jewish people don't believe in hell, but I really hope you fucking go there because you're working for a Nazi bank. And that's a fact. And it took me 25 years and up until today to admit that I worked for a Nazi bank for 25 years. It's taken me that fucking long to admit to myself that that's the truth. And I'm ashamed for it. Again, I'm mixed. Half of me is ashamed for it. The other half of me wants to fucking speak up against it, not to make up for feeling ashamed for it. Because if anybody knows me, they know I'm vain. I'm unapologetic. The only time I apologize is for other people's stupidity. If I ever apologize, I'm not apologizing for myself. I'm apologizing for you. Just FYI, if you ever hear me apologize, it's not. If I ever say I'm sorry on a phone call, I'm not saying I'm sorry because I can't hear you. I'm saying I'm sorry because it sounds like you're fucking talking with fucking balls in your mouth. I don't apologize. I never apologize. I'm unapologetic. I live with the fucking shit that I've done. And I don't need to make fucking good on anything. I don't need to make things up. And quite honestly, I was good staying retired a couple of weeks ago until UBS started this shit up with me again. UBS hasn't paid me in like 2 years. UBS has refused to pay me for long-term and short-term disability. UBS has lied to the insurance companies. UBS has lied to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. UBS has lied to the New Jersey Department of Labor. New Jersey has lied to the Department of Labor so much that they wanted to fucking have me institutionalized yesterday. And that's a fact. Like, UBS HR was calling me off the chain for the past 3 days because they really, really needed to speak to me about surrendering and being committed into a mental institution. So I've battled back from COVID. I've battled back from multiple heart attacks. I've battled back from a stroke. I've battled back from brain damage. I got a return to work letter from UBS. Dude, you should have seen, if you thought that the dress code that leaked from UBS years ago was fucking insane, you should have seen the list of 250 things that UBS made me do in order to get the return to work letter. The last thing on the list was a colonoscopy, by the way. So UBS demanded that before I was allowed to come to work, that some dude had to shove their fist into my asshole first. And I had to prove it. So in order for me to get a return to work letter, a doctor had to shove his fist inside of my asshole before I would get the letter, and I did that. I did that and what seemed like 249 other things to get to the return to work letter, which I got. I got it October 5th. And I submitted it to UBS. And their response was a couple days ago. And their response was basically, we want you to submit to a mental institution. And it's in writing. And I posted it to LinkedIn 1,000 times yesterday, so you can't miss it. So that was UBS's response to me completing the 250 items and getting the return to work letter, was to have me voluntarily institutionalize myself. That's their big plan. I don't even know what to say anymore. But the last thing I'm going to leave you in this video is that you should study your history, because if you don't, you're doomed to repeat it. Alright? And I know Guardicore is going to come out and the UBS is going to say I lied about everything, but I still have the newspaper in my hand here from 2000, folks. I keep stuff like that. But I'm a real person. I'm unfortunately not crazy, because if I was crazy, this would be an easier situation to deal with. But, you know, like the rest of my life, it's been a contradiction of walking that fine line. Again, it's nothing I'm ever going to apologize for. I loved working for PaineWebber and UBS. But I used to tell the folks that I worked with and reported into me is that I don't work for a name on the side of the building. I work for the people inside of that building. And I still hold true to it to this day. And for the people that used to either report into me or dotted line into me, I want to remind you that it was always me working for you. It was never the other way around. And I'm not lying. I had COVID. I had multiple heart attacks. And UBS sent 9 police officers to my home to swat me, to make sure that I have no idea what they were. I asked them so many times, why did you send 9 police officers to my home? And UBS had no answer for me. Now, my town is Guttenberg, New Jersey. My town is literally, it's 1 block, arguably 2 blocks by 4 to 6 blocks. It's a very small town. We have very limited amount of police officers. So in order to get 9 police officers into my home, UBS had to call Guttenberg Police Department, West New York Police Department, and Weehawken Police Department to show up to my home. And they all showed up at the same time. So all 3 police departments pulled into the driveway of my condo, all met with each other, probably shook each other's hands, said, hey, what's going on? Let's go downstairs and beat the fuck out of this guy. Because everybody that I speak to asks me, well, why did they do it? I don't have an answer for that. I don't know why UBS sent 9 police officers to my home. And again, I don't blame the police officers. And when I asked UBS, HR just kept repeating the same thing over and over again. We did nothing wrong. How could you fucking say you did nothing wrong? How the fuck can you say that? And then when I go and try to get legal help, I went to at least a dozen, if not more, attorneys, and every single one said, we have plenty of cases, wrongful death, COVID cases, to last us a lifetime. Unless you're dead, nobody is taking your case. And all 12, 13 lawyers, attorneys said the same exact thing. Please pass our contact information to your next of kin, so when you die of your injuries, we can then sue UBS. But you have to die first, and then you have a case. Because we're too busy with all the wrongful death suits right now with COVID, because those are easy. We make bank on those. That's what the lawyers are saying right now. They can't handle any more cases, and they definitely can't handle any cases where the victims are still alive. That's just an absolute showstopper. So, I haven't been able to get any legal help. UBS has refused to pay me for what seems to be years. They refused to pay me for short term. They lied to the insurance company so I wouldn't get long-term disability. They basically said I never had a return to work letter multiple times, and like literally the insurance company was like, we're confused because we're looking at like 12 return to work letters for you. They're like, we can't support, the insurance company said we can't pay you because you have like 12 return to work letters. And UBS is saying we can't take you back because you have 0 return to work letters. So clearly somebody's fucking lying. Either I have 0 or I have tons of return to work letters. There's no in between. So UBS, I'm challenging you, and I'm especially challenging whoever the fuck the CEO who's hiding on LinkedIn to grow a set of fucking testicles and come after me. So UBS CEO who hides their identity on LinkedIn that's spying on my account, grow some fucking balls and come after me. Would you guys like to know why Guardicore is saying that I'm lying? Do you know why UBS brought me back from Deutsche Bank? It was because of microsegmentation. Because of Guardicore. Because of that product that I knew. So they wanted me to come back and help UBS with their implementation. But here's the rub to it all. Right? The controversial piece to this. The piece that people said I was a fucking asshole for doing. And I'm going to call it out right now. And everybody who called me an asshole is an asshole. So basically, Dave Yeager brought me back to make sure that Guardicore happened successfully so that his wife, who worked for Guardicore, could get a huge bonus. And a lot of people at UBS kept coming up to me saying, we need to report this, we need to report this, we need to report this. And I told them, you don't have a fucking leg to stand on. It happened, fucking live with it. Dave Yeager brought me in to make sure Guardicore was successful at UBS so his wife, who works for Guardicore, could get a bonus so that Guardicore could be sold to Akamai so they can make more fucking money. And that's what it is at the end of the fucking day, is making more money and keeping people shut up about it. And that, folks, is how a Nazi bank runs in full public view without you knowing.